So when God says, I've always loved you, in fact, I've loved you with an everlasting love, many of our mindsets are, well, what did I do to deserve this love? What did I do to earn this love? What did I have to do in order for you to love me? We have this mindset of this performance-based acceptance, this performance-based love, that if I do something that is lovable, well, then I can be loved. But if I do something that's unlovable, well, I shouldn't be loved. And yet, even with our own kids, I remember when my oldest was in the womb, I'd already loved her. We named her. We used to see the pictures of the sonogram, had them hanging up on the refrigerator. We were so excited about her coming. And as soon as she came out and took her first breath in the world, I loved her even that much more. I got to know her in a different way, in a more intimate way. Yet she had done nothing to make me love her. She had done nothing to earn my love. She was a helpless little baby. And yet I loved her, and I still love her even more today as I've gotten to know who God has made her to be. I think about the prodigal son and going back to the father. See, so many times we even read that story as the prodigal son instead of the loving father. In Luke 15 and verse 20, let me just read it to you and pick out one little point that I think will help us to understand the nature of God. And that is where we want to understand who he is. In 1 John it says, God is love. So what does that nature of God look like? Well, we see this story. And it's in Luke 15 and verse 20. And talking about the prodigal son, he says, and, this is the son, he arose and came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him and kissed him. Do you see what the father is doing? The son didn't perform in any kind of way, but what did the father do? He saw him, he ran, embraced him, kissed him. And here comes the son, going back to that performance-based acceptance. He says, and the son said to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Now here's just a little tidbit in the Bible that I love. It says, but the father said to his servants, bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and bring a ring on his hand, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Do you see? Yeah, the father didn't sit there and say, yes, you are a sinner, sinner, sinner. No, the father was just welcoming back in this embrace, in this heaven's embrace of love and grace. And then the father goes on and says, and bring the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For my son was dead, and he is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. Do you see? It's more about the father and his love and acceptance of us, even than it is our own behavior. Behavior is important. I don't want my kids to sin because it hurts them. And God doesn't want us to sin because, number one, it hurts us. And number two, because it isn't reality. We're being led by the deceiver. So think about that. This almighty nature of God. God is love. And here we see the love of God not being earned by what we can do in performance, but because that is his nature to love. And he loves upon loves upon loves. Read 1 Corinthians 13 if you want to know more about the love and nature and love of God. Thank you for watching.